Hello to all my cooking peeps out there. Today I'm going to teach y'all how to make homemade cream of mushroom soup that can then be turned into cream of chicken soup, cream of celery soup, cream of whatever you want it to be soup. But I like to keep cream of mushroom soup handy in my freezer. Yes, it freezes beautifully, which is awesome. We're going to put this recipe together. It's super quick and easy. I know y'all probably get tired of me saying that all the time, but I'm going to put the ingredients and stuff in the comments on the video so you'll have those. But let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, super easy. I've got 2 cups of frozen mushrooms here. I like to use the frozen mushrooms because they don't release quite as much water. Fresh mushrooms are awesome, but you kind of need to either adjust your stock or your milk. I would adjust my stock. Just because they've got more water retained in them, and it's going to make your soup a little bit watery if you use fresh and don't adjust the recipe. So I'm babbling. I'm not sure why. But anyway, let's turn this down. Oh, that was horrible. And I'll show you what we got here. Whoops. Okay. So these are my frozen mushrooms, and I just mince them up. You can throw them in a food processor. I would let them thaw just a little bit because otherwise it's like throwing gravel into your food processor, and yes, I know that from experience, and it could bust your plastic food processor. Yes, I know that from experience. So anyway, I just let them thaw. I mean, these have been sitting out maybe 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. How fine you cut them is up to you. I'm more of a kind of chunky girl. Yeah, no comment on that one. But anyway, I like my flavoring, so to speak, whether it's celery or chicken or mushrooms, to be a little bit, a little chunkier. I mean, I don't want it pureed, but I don't want to bite into a big old piece of it either. So you just mince it up however works for you, whatever you like, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to pause so you don't have to listen to me babble and watch me do this, but it won't take just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. There is my pile of chopped up, minced up mushrooms. It took me 4 minutes, and not because I'm some ninja with a knife. I mean, it literally only took 4 minutes. So this is something, it's one of those things kind of like the trilogy and the little bacon and green onion and bell pepper bundles and all those things we've talked about. Yikes. There we go. If you just spend a little bit of time doing this and have it handy in your freezer, when you're ready to cook, it's there. It's good. It's wholesome. You know every ingredient. You decided what ingredients to put in here, the quality of the ingredients, which makes a huge difference. Before we finish this video, we're going to talk about the ingredients in canned cream of mushroom soup. There's no cream and there's not really any mushrooms. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to move over to the stove, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. Okay, we are at the stove, and I'm melting some butter. You can use dairy-free butter. It works great. That's what I use at the restaurant. I'm just going to use good old-fashioned Kerrygold. I could just about eat this stuff straight out of the package. It's so good. Because this is what we use at home. But if you want to use dairy-free, it works great. Enjoy Life. That's a chocolate chip. How about Earth Balance is a really good product. They have a soy-free version. It's awesome. But I'm using Kerrygold, so we're going to start with 6 tablespoons of butter and let that melt down. The ingredients are so simple. It's butter. We're going to use some of our Trilogy. Yep, that comes in handy all the dadgum time. Got our mushrooms, of course, some flour. I'm going to use some brown rice flour because I want mine to be gluten-free. All-purpose flour works fine if you want to use that. Just please make sure it's organic. Wheat is sprayed bajillions of times. Some stock, some milk. I'm going to use oat milk just because it's what I have handy. I've used almond milk. I use coconut milk primarily at the restaurant, so it's very forgiving with whatever kind you want to use. salt, pepper, and some gelatin. See, you know what every one of those ingredients are. There's nothing in there funky that you don't know what it is. So we're going to melt our butter and then add our trilogy. We need a half a cup. And here's the other thing. That's half a cup-ish. I don't get overly concerned about exact measurements. Okay, so that was a quarter cup. 2 times is a half a cup. So we're going to get this in here, kind of let it, got on about a medium heat. We want to cook down our trilogy and saute it. You're going to do it for about 5 minutes and then add the mushrooms and do it for about 3 minutes. I mean, just, you know, you just want it to get soft because you don't want to have crunchy onions. So I'm not going to make you watch me stir for 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, this has been going for 5 minutes. You talk about smelling good. Whew, the only thing better than butter and onions is bacon. But anyway, now we're going to add our mushrooms. And you just want to put everything you minced up. I use a bag of organic Woodstock, God, what do they call it? Mushroom blend, I think. It's got like shiitakes and a couple others, maybe some oyster mushrooms. I don't remember, quite frankly. I've been using it so long. But it is a bag, a 10-ounce bag of frozen mushrooms. And when it's measured out, it's right at 2 cups. So you want to get that in there and stir it around. And again, just let it simmer for about 10 minutes. You just want to soften up those mushrooms. And doesn't that look yum? All right, so we're going to let this go for 3 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, I flipped my camera to the other side of the stove just so I thought y'all could see a little better. So my mushrooms have been going. And again, it's butter, onion, garlic, celery, and real mushrooms. So far, we know every ingredient. That's awesome. So now we're going to add some flour. Like I said, I use brown rice flour. It is just my automatic go-to when I'm doing gluten-free, which is 90% of what I do. And we're going to put a cup in here, and it's going to get really, really thick. I've got these little quarter cup scoops in my flour bin. So obviously, I'm going to do 4 of those if I can get it to work. Right. So I'll put a couple in. I'm going to stir it really well, just because that helps you keep from getting lumps. If you put all the flour in and then start stirring, it tends to want to lump up. But see how thick it is? It's going to get thick, thick, and that's okay. So there's a half a cup, 3/4, and 1. And we're going to find this out together. It has been so long since I made just one recipe of this. I don't remember how much it puts out in the final product. We do it like 30 times this at the restaurant and put it in containers and stick it in the freezer in varying sizes for different recipes and put it in containers out front for customers. So I just do not remember how much one single recipe makes, and I didn't have it written down, which is highly unusual for me, but I didn't. So we'll figure that out together, and then you'll know. So, see, it is super, super thick. And you're just going to kind of stir it around. You don't want to let this sit. The mushrooms and the trilogy, that you could stir it, do other things, come back, stir it, do other things. You don't want to do that with this, only because you don't want your flour to burn in the bottom of your pot. That would not be a good thing. So you just do this for a couple minutes. I'm going to do the pause and I'll be back. Okay, we've had our couple minutes, and now I've got a cup of vegetable stock, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. I just want to get it in here because I don't want my flour to burn. All right, so set that there. We'll start kind of mixing that in, and then we can add in the milk. And y'all, this is one of those things. There are 10,789 million cream of mushroom soup recipes on the internet. And I'm sure most of them are amazing. You just kind of have to go with what you like. Remember my famous favorite saying, it's your kitchen, do what you want. I just found one, kind of started playing with it, kept playing with it, tweaking it, changing it, making it the way I wanted it to be. And that's just what I've always used. So that's what this is. But you can do whatever. I'm using a vegetable stock because it's what I had handy. Let me turn this down. I'll show you the vegetable stock in a minute. Right now I want to get my milk in here before it gets too thick and starts to burn. So we need 2 cups of milk, and like I said, I'm using oat milk because it's what I had handy. So we got 1 and 2. So you just mix that in there and stir that real easy. Once it starts warming up, then it'll break up the globs and it'll get more creamy and it'll be more, you know, like a cream of mushroom soup you're used to. This is a really good soup to just eat, by the way. You could leave some bigger chunks of mushrooms, and ooh, that's really, really nice if you like mushrooms. I absolutely love them. But let me go back to what I was talking about with ingredients. So I've made this with chicken stock, some of our homemade chicken stock. Oh, it's so good. I've made it coconut milk, almond milk, oat milk, cow's milk. I mean, just whatever you want to use and whatever, you know, you like or your body tolerates better is awesome. It all works very well. This stock is Imagine vegetable broth. It's a really good product. It's an organic vegetable product. And when I don't have any other stock handy, because my chicken stock in the freezer, I started to get some out to thaw it, but it's in bigger containers and I didn't want to thaw out a quart to just use a cup and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll just grab the veggie stock. It works great. It tastes great. It works great. But let me tell you one thing. When you're looking for products like this, if you're going to use a packaged one, just because it says organic, see right there, that's great, you want that, but don't stop there. Read the ingredients and see what it says. You know, this filtered water, organic onions, organic carrots, organic celery, organic tomato paste, organic spices, organic garlic, organic speller press. I mean, you know, do you get it? It's organic. Sea salt. The one thing that I found, and it just surprised me to no end, in a different brand of organic stock that I was looking at one time, was sugar. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Why is there sugar in chicken stock? So I emailed the company because I wanted to know. It's like, what in the world? Well, they put it in there as kind of not so much a preservative, but an indicator of a bad package, that the sugar would cause the package to swell if it was breached. And so that's how they would know their product was bad. Really? I'm just like, you know, let's just stick to some basics here and get that jazz out of our foods. I mean, we get enough sugar in everything we eat. We don't need to be adding sugar to chicken stock. So anyway, so you're going to let this kind of simmer, stir it around. You can put, you know, I suggest put a lid on it. Let's get our salt and pepper in here. And, you know, the recipe is about a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to eyeball because I just do at home. So you want to mix that around. If you like a lot of garlic, you can add extra garlic. You can add some of our roasted garlic. You can add garlic powder. You could add garlic flakes. I mean, whatever floats your boat. But look at that. It's thick. It's creamy. It's yummy. Now you want to keep stirring on it while it simmers. just so you don't have any lumps, you don't have anything stick. I mean, you don't have to stand here for 10 minutes, but you want to stir around, put your lid on it, let it go 2 or 3 minutes, come back to it. Let's see if we can get this thing up without breaking something. Ooh, that worked. Huh, nice. But that's it. That is homemade cream of mushroom soup. Look at that. I mean, you know every ingredient of what's in there. Your butter of choice. Trilogy that you did. If you want to just mince up onions, you can do that too. I just prefer the trilogy because I like the celery, I like the garlic. Your mushrooms, a good quality. Don't get the little white button mushrooms at the grocery store. Ugh, those are gross. They don't really have any nutritional value, and they're just, I mean, they're better than buying a can of condensed cream of mushroom soup, but they're still just not great because there's just not a lot of nutrition there. You want nutrition. Anyway, back to my ingredients list. So we've got butter, trilogy, salt, pepper, flour, stock, a milk type product, and that's it. And you know what every one of those are, and it's thick and it's creamy. And if you want to thin it out some, you can add more stock. If you want it a little thicker, add less stock. You want it super, super creamy, don't use stock and use all milk. I mean, you can play with this and do different things. This is another one of those, oh God, I'm freaked out. I don't have my supper together. What am I going to do? You know, fry up some boneless, skinless chicken thighs in butter and slice them up and throw it in there and fix you some rice or potatoes or pasta and serve it over that with some spinach. Super fast meal. Really, really tasty. You could add the spinach to the sauce. Whew, that's good. But you want to have this in your freezer all the time. Please stay away from the cans of cream of mushroom bleh. I'm going to come over here, see if I get my camera turned around. I was looking up ingredients for a well-known product, we shall say, of cream of mushroom soup. And it's water. Okay, good. Mushrooms, who knows what kind. Modified food starch. What? I don't want starch. Don't add any starch. Wheat flour contains less than 2% of salt, cream. Okay, less than 2% is cream, but it's cream of mushroom soup. That's interesting. Dried whey, monosodium glutamate, MSG, no freaking thank you. Protein, soy protein concentrate, no. Yeast extract, why do you need yeast in there? Spice extract, what kind of spice? I don't know. Dehydrated garlic, vegetable oil, corn, nope. Cottonseed, canola, or soybean, no, 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 no to all that. So, you got that ingredient list, or you got the ingredient list that we went through. See? So much better. So much better for you, so much better tasting, just so much better. So I'm going to let this cool down, stop my little soapbox tirade, and I will measure it and come back real quick just to tell you how many ounces we had. And those cans of that faux soup come in 10-ounce cans. So what I always do is package 10-ounce packages. I have little plastic deli cups I'll put them in at the restaurant to sell. I'll put them here in either little 10-ounce jars. I've put them, once it's really, really cool, in Ziploc bags, put 10 ounces in there. This is 10 ounces by volume, obviously not by weight. And then anytime I find any kind of recipe that I want to play with, or recipes I've converted over the years that calls for 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, or as I said, cream of whatever soup, I just get my little package out that I made, that I know every single ingredient, and rock and roll. It thaws fast. It's good to go. So I'll come back real quickly because I knew I was going to make this a short video and I just blew that one. But anyway, I'll come back, let you know how many ounces total this is, and then we're good. You can make your own cream of mushroom soup, and it is awesome. So I'll be back. Okay, here we go. I got my little deli cups. These are 12-ounce cups. If you fill to that line, that's 10. Oops, sorry, that's 10 ounces, and I got 4 of them. So as quick as that was, even with all my babbling, we got 4 10-ounce cups of cream of mushroom soup. And again, you could substitute the mushrooms for chicken or celery or garlic or whatever you want it to be to make some type of cream soup. Well, we got 4 of them in just a few minutes. I mean, you could whip that out in probably 15 minutes or less. I've been yapping a lot. But anyway, that's it. I hope that helps. I hope you'll make some, put it in your freezer, and it's always available, and then you're not buying that crappy canned stuff with things that you don't even really know what it is, and if you do know what it is, you don't want it. So anyway, I hope this helps. Like, share, comment, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever all those things are you're supposed to do to these videos. And let's build a really good community of food nerds that like to talk and share stuff, okay? Thanks.